Alrighty.
So yeah, freedom.
Yeah, freedom. So we need to do something about the battery, right? And we need more people on the pleasure gardens.
Yeah, I think those two are the big ones.
Yep.
Let's see. And we might have issues with maintaining fertility in the near future, but we have the Kretsch, so we should be fine. Also, it's been ruled that the Kretsch does not require a cyborg to work. It can be pure avatar. You know, the idea of basically like a TV nanny.
All right.
Um,
I'll go to the battery then.
all right. And let's see, how about Arduino? She has a green augment, so it might be helpful for her to come by for the life support.
Yeah. It's okay. Flang.
So next we have Wolfe.
I go here too.
Yep. Then Authority Bot.
I go on batteries.
And Equality Bot will also go on to help with the batteries. All right. That's assignment. Also, because of how marriage rules work, do we want to see if Honor and Unity can go ahead and get married? Because that no longer requires a cyborg to do.
Why not? I mean,
so yeah, Wolfe, do you accept Arduino's hand in marriage?
Yes, why not? Was so romantic.
Yes.
sorry.
I mean, let's be fair. The options here are fairly limited. It's not like there's a very large dating pool on the ship.
And is marriage action or no?
It's
Oh, and maybe you didn't hear that, Peter.
What?
Yeah, and in the updated version of the game, there's going to be each dynasty will have a marriage chit where it can propose a marriage as a pulse instead of assigning a worker.
Okay.
And that instantaneously is either accepted or rejected.
And it's
but the thing is, that counts as a pulse. Only the proposal does. The acceptance or rejectance doesn't count as a pulse. So, like, you'll have your dice as well as a marriage chit.
Okay.
So, as a bit interesting little strategy note, you can delay your turn by proposing marriages. So if you need to do that for some reason, there you go. All right, cell rolls. Let's start with the pleasure gardens.
Let's.
That would be very nice if we could reduce that stress.
And who is the chief?
It'll be decided by who has the most wins.
Oh, okay.
And then if it's tied, it's decided by whoever owns it. Let's see. Okay.
Nice.
2 wins. And technically, chief engineer, it's tied between Unity and Honor, so you get to decide, but I don't think it really matters because we just remove 1 stress from every dynasty. It's not like there's a very specialized effect to it. So
I took 1.
Okay, gotcha. All right. That should hopefully make some future rolls a little bit less painful. And then we have the batteries roll. There's no augmentation to this, so it's just going to be pure rolling. Close.
Hmm.
Well, the good news is we have multiple. We have another shot at it next dozier. So, but red, you do get a blue augmentation. So at least you get that. Okay. No maintenance. We then move the ship another 2 spaces. All right, attrition. I'm still young. Wolfe is also still young, but Arduina is old.
Getting old.
And yep, and because of 1 stress, you have to roll with age 7, so you got a 50-50 shot at living. Your die is over here.
Oops. Oh my god, my TTS skill is not great. It's here. Okay, here's for rolling.
Well, rest in peace, Wolfe. Rest in peace to Arduina. And the graveyard's just getting more and more full.
I think there's a medallion for someone who's the first to lose both their cyborgs.
Yeah, no one's gotten there quite yet.
It hasn't been a priority.
Okay.
All right.
Sad.
Then we do attrition and then we do aging. So everybody update your ages. And the good news is now at least that Wolfe is officially, Wolfe means no more arch enemies as
Yeah,
long as she's alive.
at least something.
Yeah,
I guess
that's-
the marriage is also gone.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's a shame. It was a very short. Well, I guess 12 years isn't that not a really
was-
short marriage, but
Honeymoon was over.
yeah, honeymoon was ended by death.
It was so short, so intensive that Arduin did not make it.
So, Meskinet, I hope you don't mind, but I think I'll take the de-stress.
By all means.
And let's see. And Authority loses its last bit of stress because it's not awake. And also Honor loses its last bit of stress because it's not awake. All right, so we actually are dealing with the stress problem.
Oops.
Okay. Next dozier.
Do I get an avatar die for honor, or how does it work?
Oh yeah, now you get your avatar die in replacement. So, wrong color
That's
Oops.
not.
Yeah, sorry.
for you.
I'm
There
not
you go.
that colorblind. Yeah, thanks.
But the colors are very similar.
I think it's just similar in the mod. It should be more apparent in real life.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have stress more under control. Except for Wolfe. Wolfe probably could use some library actions. I think we should probably think about the continuity of the ship. So, actually, let's see. If all goes as planned, we should be arriving at Cirrus B in the next dozier. But we'll have to break and stop. So it's going to take another 2 doziers before we reach Cirrus AB fully. So should we decant some more? Yeah, I think we should. We should go ahead and start having some more kids. But we still have some fertile Amazons. So I will go ahead and assign to myself. Mescanet.
Yeah. Should we give the battery one more go? Oh,
Well, the battery can be done by battery
need
can be
to-
done without that. So I
well,
would
we need
say
to slow down the engine. We can do the batteries at the same time. That's what you're saying, or
what I'm saying is that we can recharge the battery. What I'm saying is that I think you should probably assign to your pregnancy cell so we can try to get a couple more people on the ship just in case something goes wrong. You know, maybe get Pachamama out. And then you can use your honor bot to either try to get the battery recharged or try to ensure that the pregnancy succeeds. Or go to the pleasure gardens to help more de-stress so we can keep Wafe from dying.
maybe that's a good idea.
Okay.
And we
Wafe, where would you like to go?
We might also try this domesticated goo. But we need.
I don't think we need to thin down the ship any. Nor do we really want to change the ship's speed right now. Because that either means we shoot it up to 4, which would be a pain to slow down again, or we drop it to 0, which will be a pain to get moving again.
Okay. So I will.
If you wanted to try something more foolhardy, then I guess go with the Jolson supercomputer. But I would still say the priority should either be ensuring the pregnancy succeed, getting the battery recharged, or continuing to drop the stress.
You don't have any landing pods?
No, we were just going to do a we're just going to do a straight landing.
Straight up landing, okay.
So I go make library. Oh. What do we do?
Actually, and I'm thinking about it, with 2 married Amazons trying to have a kid at the same time, the odds are pretty good we'll have one. I really need to brush up on my probability so I can actually calculate these odds with some accuracy. So yeah, I guess I would say the priorities are either charge the battery or run the pleasure gardens.
So I go here. Get sure.
Okay. And then I'll have my equality bot go ahead and help and try to charge the batteries, although the odds are pretty slim. So we don't do it this round, we're gonna need to do it next one. Alright, start doing cell rolls. So let's start with trying to de-stress. So
Oh wait, I put it on the wrong.
oh, you were going for the pregnancy cells.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. So That is a success. So all pregnancy rolls will succeed this dossier. Let's run the battery recharge to see if that works. It does not. Oh, there we go. And then we both succeed in having a child. I guess I will get Pachamama out. And Mescanet, who will be your child?
Yeah. They all just meatheads.
Yeah, it's only meatheads left.
Oh, okay.
Considering that Honor is now in a sleep dynasty, and just in case Wolfei bites the dust, you might want to get, let's see, who are the asleep dynasties right now? I guess it would be better either to grab the Freedom meathead, or the Equality meathead. So that way we can try to minimize future arch enemies. I guess it'd be in your self-interest to get the Freedom meathead. And you also have an open slot for him, so...
I have an open slot, actually, yeah. Oops.
So let me grab the die. And Broca. Alright. So that was cell rolls, no maintenance, movement. We are now very close to Cirrus. Attrition and aging. So everybody who's old, roll for death, which means Wolfei has a 1 out of 6 chance of survival. That's a no. So Wolfei passes into the choir invisible.
Bye-bye.
And I think at this point, yes, Yellow does get the medallion for having both members of the dynasty die.
Yeah.
So collect that medallion.
Does this seem like a useful feature of medallions to award to the first one who dies?
I think it can be a good compensation, because sometimes people will just die randomly, and, you know, it helps minimize some of the... it's kind of a shock absorber if there's some spontaneous catastrophe that wipes out a dynasty.
What I was worried about was that people would be nervous to start the voyage awake without it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, we kind of have to balance the importance of being awake versus asleep.
So I get Avatar dice.
Yep, and then we go to oh yeah, everybody age. Forget to do that. These two are now just of age. And then we go back to refresh. So everybody go back to your ovals. Wait, yeah, what does the award for this do? Get an extra avatar die. Okay, yeah, so you get to have 2. Cool. Let's see. -1 per married couple. Mescanet, I'll take the de-stress again, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
And then asleep dynasties, so Unity continues to lose stress. Now that it is, well, not existent.
Is stress on the Unity affecting me in any way?
I don't think so anymore. But okay, back to assignment. Okay, so now we have to make sure the battery's charged.
Yeah.
So I will be assigning. Yeah, I'll take the lead and I will assign to the batteries. Also, now that I'm back down to 1 stress, we don't have to worry about a goo outbreak.
I'll join you.
Over here.
Oh yeah, that's me again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what is...
I also think it might be valuable to go ahead and try to see if we can set off the Jofson supercomputer.
But we need.
I mean, it's a little bit risky because if that's an X and an O, then, you know.
But we need second nugget first.
No, we do have 2 nuggets. We have one embedded on the windshield and the other one owned by Peter. By the way, Peter, you can confirm that's an O, right? This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we do not need it on the players?
Yes, we just needed to physically exist somewhere on the ship.
Oh, okay. I thought it needed to be on a mat. Okay, I see.
Yeah. No, getting it onto your mat
Yeah.
just means that you get to 1, know what it is, and 2, you get 4 victory points for owning a nugget.
Yeah.
So, like, it's valuable, but not necessary.
So maybe I should start with going to the supercomputer first then. Let me just go here and then my...
I cannot go on the computer because it requires cyborgs.
Yeah. Well, you can go now that there is a cyborg taking the lead.
Ah, okay. So
I would say battery charging is the priority here.
It has to succeed.
Yes. Okay. Shay or Pachamama is not going to assign. Instead, is going to get married to Nanshe. Because polygamy is allowed.
Okay.
1 passes over, so it's now.
So is 3 dice enough to make sure the battery starts? Maybe it isn't.
The odds are less than half. So probably. I would say let's get 1 more die on there just to really crank up the odds as much as we can, and then we'll put another one over. Actually, you've
one
assigned there.
Oh,
And for the last assignment, Pachamama will. Is 5 dice enough?
it should be.
Yeah, it should be, but
It's
should's
like
an operative
80,
word.
80% or something. I'm not sure. Oh, it's only ones. It's only ones that are success. So it's not that given actually.
Yeah. I'm gonna also assign there because also if the supercomputer succeeds, we might instead just cause an ANMAT explosion. So it might not be a bad thing if it doesn't succeed. I'm just gonna play it safe. Right, so cell rolls. Let's start with the battery.
Yeah. For sure.
Six die rolls. Okay. The Unity bots made it succeed.
Yes, we are.
So
Excellent.
battery is charged up to 4. So we now have a battery to work with. All right. And now the Jothson supercomputer. It
Yes.
succeeds. All right. So this is an O. And this other one. Oh, fuck.
Oops.
So what now?
Well, that's an ANMAT explosion. So we have to roll 2 dice and check the 5 column. This could get nasty quick. Peter, as you are the chief engineer in this case, you roll the dice. Oh, come on.
What?
Snake eyes.
Mm.
Sweet.
Roll that. You only rolled those once. Roll them a couple times.
What?
Yes, nice.
Okay, so starting from the top, there are 2 levels of erosion, which means the jars blow up. Which means all of them die. So Nugget ends up getting in bed in that part of the windshield. It also means that all purple and red cards get destroyed.
Okay, it says random blueprint. So
Random blueprint gets. Oh, that could get nasty quick.
And why you remove 2?
Because if you check the chart, it says 2 erosion. It also means the ship now decelerates by 1, I believe.
I do not understand this much.
The intent was the ship decelerates by 2, but the minimum speed would be 1/2 according to the rules.
Ah. But since we're in interstellar space... Well, actually, wait a sec. Yeah, we're in interstellar space, so...
We're in interstellar space, so really the minimum speed has to be 1.
So we have lightning or
Yeah.
or more or
Yeah, we get a random blueprint is replaced with a nugget. So if this hits our batteries, engine, or life support, the mission will end in a failure. Because either we are gonna... Well, actually, no, I guess we could try ice breaking. Again.
Classic maneuver.
Yeah. Alright. Well, I'll roll the die this time because...
So can you explain me the erosion is happening or?
Right, look in you see this column, it says erosion and there's 2 bars here?
Okay.
Yeah,
That means there's 2 levels of erosion.
Yeah, but it's very difficult to understand from this diagram.
Yeah, I would agree. That one took me a little bit to get it. It might just be better to have numbers or some other symbol.
Okay, that's noted.
Okay, so 2 erosions. Lightning, so we have to replace a random blueprint with a nugget. I'll roll for it. We'll say 1 or 2 is the engine, 3 or 4 is the batteries, 5 or 6 is life support. Oh, come on.
Oh, no. Oh.
Life support blows up, which means everyone dies. Everyone's dead. We just have... On the plus side, though, we get another nugget.
On the plus side, we get another nugget. Now, how did this catastrophe occur? And
because there was an ANMAT explosion.
We tried to do that computer thing, yeah.
And it detonated.
And what were the chances that it would detonate?
Well, let's see. We knew one of them was an O. So the possibilities for the so let's see. The other one was either there was a 2/3 chance it was an X and a 1/3 chance it was an O. So yeah, the odds of this blowing up was 2/3. Why did we assign to this? Oh, that was so dumb. Why did I?
It seems to me that the AMAT explosion is has
Also,
too
we
great a
also
chance
rolled.
of occurring.
The thing is, we rolled a 2 on this, so we
Yeah,
rolled like
I
quite literally
know.
the worst possible result.
Yes. Okay.
But okay,
Noted.
what other horrors occur? Well, everyone ages 2 steps, but everyone's dead, so that doesn't matter. Yeah. So yeah, everyone's asleep, everyone's dead, everything's awful. So we're now officially a ghost ship. The thing is, at least we're still moving. That's something.
And you still have your avatars.
Yes. Of course, they're entirely unconscious, so there's not even the chance of a transhumanist colonization.
Yes.
But hey, at least there might be some remnant bacterial life on the ship. Maybe.
Yes, there could be, and maybe you could. But I guess the point is that the avatars can radio back, lessons learned back to Soul.
True.
Now, the mission is over here, and I just want to do some debriefing. Should there be any possibility of continuing the mission just to try to get some points from radioing back to Earth? I would guess not. But let me ask the passengers what they learned on this voyage, and would they try it again?
I'd say that the main thing that I learned, well, the most immediate thing I learned is that unless you have 3 nuggets, just don't attempt foolhardy experiments unless you really have to. Like, there was no reason for me to have done that. Or for us to have done that. There was nothing we essentially needed from Earth data. And the odds of it were very much against our favor.
Okay. It's I hate to have such an obvious decision concerning foolhardy experiments. There should be at least some reason to tempt one to do such.
Well, also, okay, well, let me try tempering that. Like, the most likely outcome of an ANMAT detonation is the jars get irradiated.
Yeah.
Which is pretty serious.
Right. Yeah, that is definitely the most likely outcome. Like, the outcome we got was very unlikely. All put together. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe make the jars getting irradiated thing like the same thing as the goos getting discarded. Maybe drop the odds a bit. Maybe.
All right.
Well, that doesn't always drop the odds. Actually, moving the jars over to there would increase the odds of it happening for flare and debris. But
you could move the number to 9 and 10 plus 9 would be.
Yes, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. But still, I mean, at that point when the the error is like that's what you said, that you shouldn't have taken the decision to actually do that. So just avoid the risk of that antimatter failure anyway. So
Yeah.
it wouldn't matter much what the odds were it happening. It was this decision is wrong before that anyway.
Yeah. The only way it would have been a better decision is if we either actually needed the result from it,
That would be
or
another. Oh yeah.
or the risks weren't as high. But the risk as they are just high enough that the ANMAT risk is just massive. Especially when
I'm not sure
radiating the
if
jars is.
I'm not sure if it needs so brutal results of these first two columns, because if you
I would also say that to a certain extent. Actually, no. I guess it makes sense why that exists, because sometimes there's no erosion, but there should be enough irradiation and damage that would threaten the embryos and the sleeping meatheads.
because if you roll badly, but it is low chance, and you lose two blueprints or three or more, it's quite almost.
Yeah, basically, if you roll in either of these columns or this column, the jars get detonated and all the babies die. Unless you've built up shielding, which you normally only build up shielding if, you're about to go through it. So it's unlikely for the ship to have built up shielding. Yeah.
So I would recommend not having triple erosion, but make it a bit less.
Yeah, I think 3 erosion is well,
A lot.
that's
particularly
a lot.
brutal.
It's more or less the equivalent of the ship blows up with everyone on board dead, but if that's really what it means, then it probably should just say ship is destroyed or something.
Yeah. And I mean, again, the odds are. I'd have to actually figure the odds here. The odds are the odds were 1 in 6 that we would have actually suffered no damages. So actually, it's equally likely that we would have gotten the worst possible outcome as well as the best possible outcome. I mean, to a certain extent, you just have to be willing to eat odds. In this case, we got the pointy end of the stick.
Yes.
Also, I had this thought, which is really, if you wanted to be utterly sadistic to yourself, is that depending on if you successfully get people onto this new planet, you get to continue the game with a new game of BIOS Origins. However, if you ends in a failure, but the ship still gets to its location, you start a new game with a game of BIOS Genesis.
Yes.
Some of Earth's, it's basically we pull off a panspermia occurs.
Circle of life.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you arrive only with avatars, you start the Pax Trans Robotics.
I guess you could call it Pax Megafauna, with the understanding that these avatars, I don't know, they combine with the goo and start reproducing and competing Darwinianly against each other.
Yes, with macroorganism scale or something.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Anyway, but that's just window dressing. But again, I say I still enjoyed the game, despite the fact it ended in abject failure.
Yes.
And the thing is, it was entirely my fault that I decided to go through with that. Like, you know,
I mean, you weren't.
odds
I mean,
were-
I was also blinded by the niceness of that supercomputer. So
yeah,
because when you look at it, it's if it works, it sounds so good. So
you get
You're
stress
kind of-
relief, you
you're
cure
kind of
cancer
thinking
and
that,
Alzheimer's. Like, oh, it's perfect. And then, the ship blows up.
So I'll take my part of the blame as well.
Yeah. And actually, technically, really, Peter was the authority bot was the one who actually successfully made it. So really, we should blame Peter. But it was on my board. How about this? We'll just say no one's responsible and move on. Well, I guess there is no one left to blame anyway. We're all dead.
Yes.
No, I got it. Let's blame Earth for sending us on this suicide mission. But yeah. Wow, I did not expect the game to be over that quick.
No, me neither. But yeah, it's good. I like it.
Yeah.
Some
it's-
I folks when starting from Sol, the start of the game, if you have no way to go through the blue spots with the LIC or how it's called.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
LIC.
You probably should only your way is probably only to this way because there are no.
Yeah, your only other option is either to stall for time, and wait till either you are able to foam metal some of the parts, and or invent something that helps you mitigate LIC damage, or just accept a long, boring trip out to Signy. One of the two. Actually, Signy isn't that bad of its location anyway, because, it has 2 yellow suns. That's not bad.
And the second one, if you are first star you encounter is habitable.
Yeah.
What stop you from circling around until you can settle there?
Yeah, you could just stop outside of a habitable planet and wait until, or set up a Goldilocks planet and then build up the ability to actually colonize it. Or alternatively, if you find a well-habitable planet, you could just seed ship and send out some people in a bailout and keep moving. But of course, that incurs its own risks.
So how do you get landing pods? Is that a technology you research or?
Yeah, it's a technology that allows you to. Yeah, you have to get a work cell to do it.
There are 3 work cells that have landing pods. It's possible, since I only added the 3rd one recently, it's possible your deck only has 2.
Yeah.
And the
So
one.
is there an updated playtest version in the works, or how far away are we from that?
There is an updated version that is operational now. It's got a few changes to the maps and cards and like that. That's available now.
Gotcha. And I imagine Justin is still busy working away at getting the exploration chits up and running.
Yes, the exploration chits. I don't think they're ready yet.
Yeah, that's fair. The game is just as it's. Yeah, anyway.
And I do not like the meeples on the playboard next to the augmentation. It looked quite strange for me. And
Yeah, I think the graphics will be updated on that one.
All right, I'm sorry. Ask that. What was the problem one more time?
the meeple shapes on the playboards.
I think those are just blobs.
Yes. Probably.
Just so they kind of look like blobs of goo.
Yeah,
But
the
they look strange for me and not same with the rest of the game. I think it should be removed or changed to something.
okay.
But it could be like I don't know, the graphic on the goo shits are also, I suppose, being updated, but they could be similar to whatever they became. If it's just a blob. I don't know.
Yes, that should be the same.
But yeah.
And there is some reason why the two work cells on the same spot are overlapping.
Say that again, Peter?
I have slot for two work cells on my playboard.
But but at the current moment, with how they're set up, they overlap unless you're willing to kind of stretch out a little bit.
Yeah.
This.
There is some reason, or it's current problem.
Not a real reason. They could be separated more. Yeah, the playmats have been updated as well. And the medallion chits are going to specific shapes as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, well,
And
as I said before, despite the fact this was a total failure, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fine.
All right. Well, thanks a lot for you guys playing this game. I've got to leave for the moment.
Yep.
Yep.
We can play again.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.